as you guys may know, I'm 20 years old. I started my business 2 years ago, and now I've generated over $700,000 in revenue. And actually this year, I'm probably gonna finish over $500,000 with $500,000. And I don't like to talk without showing receipts, so I'm gonna show you one of my accounts. For those of you who don't know, I do Airbnb arbitrage, and I'm gonna elaborate on everything in this video and show you how you can do the same thing and start your business at any age, because I started at 18. So if I started at 18, why can't you start your business at 18? Why can't you start your business at 16? I actually have a mentee that started his business at 16 and got his first 1 to 2 units. I'm gonna show you receipts right now on one of my Airbnb accounts that has a couple of my listings. So as you can see right here, this is one of my Airbnb accounts. Did 37K the past 30 days on this account alone. And let's click on the past 365 days. Past 365 days on this account, I've generated $340,000. Let's look at the past 7 days too, because I know you guys are wondering. Past 7 days, I've actually brought in $16,000 in the past 7 days. That's more than $2,000 a day in revenue. As you can see, I'm refreshing these. This is a real account. Obviously, I don't like to show fake shit, because what's the point? I don't understand what the point of flexing fake money, fake stuff that people did not work for. What does that make you feel on the inside? I don't know. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the steps I took and the proper things you need to know about Airbnb arbitrage if you're curious about it, because this business model worked for me. I started at 18 years old. I'm 20 now, generated 600,000 to 700,000. So why can't it work for you? It can if you really put your head down and put in the work. What's up? It is John Aziz, and you clicked on this video and are probably wondering, how am I about to make money after this video? How am I about to make tens of thousands, 6 figures after watching this video? So I've been getting a lot of requests about what I kind of do, and people want to get in depth with what I do, because I've been teasing you guys with the Airbnb and showing you bookings, but I didn't really explain to you like the start to finish kind of business model. So in this video, I'm just going to elaborate, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit about how to start the business, what the business is, and what the steps you will take in the business to actually succeed and start making money. Before I get into the process of how to start your business, I'm going to tell you what the business model is. So in simple terms, very, very simple terms that my cat can understand, Airbnb arbitrage, what is this business model? So you find a house for rent, and let's say this house is $1,000 per month, right? And you go to the owner and you say, can I rent it on Airbnb? So then when you rent it out on Airbnb, first you're gonna furnish the house with your own money. You furnish it, and then you put the listing on Airbnb, and let's say this listing makes you $4,000 a month, and the rent is $1,000 a month. Let's say another $1,000 for utilities and cleaning expenses. So what you are paying out every single month of your expenses is $2,000, but you're bringing in $4,000. And $4,000 minus $2,000 leaves you with $2,000 in profit. And that is the business model, finding houses for rent and making them Airbnbs and keeping the profit. But I'm gonna tell you step by step how to get to that exact point. The first thing you want to do, you need to find a property. So you're going to go on websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Apartments.com, and find a property for rent that's in a good city. You need to pick cities that you know have high traffic. For example, Columbus, Ohio has OSU games, they have travel workers, etc. Philadelphia has the Philadelphia 76ers sports teams, and it's a big city. You want to aim like cities with higher populations, and you know people are coming in and out of to drive traffic in order for you to get bookings for your Airbnb. So once you find your location, after you find your location, you're gonna look for the properties on Zillow, Apartments.com, etc. And then when you look for a property, you are going to call up the owner. So after finding a property, then you move on to the pitch. Right? You need to pitch them and tell them what you're doing, what your intentions are with the property. So then they're comfortable with it, you're comfortable with it, and both people are happy. Basically, you're gonna pitch yourself as like a corporate housing company, right? You house corporate clients coming in and out of the city, whether that's for travel, leisure, whatever it is. Sometimes travel workers, sometimes people coming in to watch the big sporting events. And that's how you're going to speak to the owner. You're going to represent yourself as a corporate housing company. And it helps if you have a website, but it doesn't kill you if you don't. So after you pitch them and they're comfortable with it, then you're going to move on to negotiations. Things I personally negotiate are lower rent, or I'll get like a month or 2 free, or bare minimum I'll get 2 weeks free. It depends on the season, right? If it's a slow season and they're not able to get renters in, then they're more obligated to give you some concessions like 1 or 2 months. But you try to get 1 or 2 months there, you try to get no safety deposit. The way I explain to them why I'm not paying any safety deposit is because I say in written I will be paying any expenses or damages caused by me or my guests, and also I have an insurance policy that does the same thing. But we can get into that part in a different video. But after you negotiate, right, you're going to want to negotiate every term as much as possible, and then you're going to move on to the next part, which is going to be furnishing the property, right? I personally have a furniture sheet, so I have every single thing on a furniture sheet that I have written out, like, for example, the bed, a mattress, the rugs, everything is written out on a Google sheet, and I have it like this. Imagine this. The furniture, actually, let me just fucking show you. So this is what my furniture sheet looks like. So look, on the left, I'll have where the product came from. This is going to be what type of product is it, did I order it, yes or no, and direct link to the product itself, the quantity, how much it is, and how much it is times the quantity. And then up here is going to be the total cost, net total, and then the net total with tax, and then the net total with labor if you choose to actually hire people out to build all this furniture for you, which I do to save me more time. So that's what the furniture sheet looks like. If you want, you can comment. I might send it to you so you can have it and actually organize and see exactly what type of furniture you need, so everything's labeled. And that same furniture sheet you can use for new properties. Let's say you're getting multiple properties. Then you can multiply all these things so everything's nice and organized. You know exactly how much money you're spending setting up this property. Obviously, after you furnish it, you're going to want to get photos, professional photos. So then after that, the next step is going to be listing it on Airbnb. So then after you list the property on Airbnb, you have to make sure your pricing is right, which if you look into some videos and you look into some education, you're going to learn about dynamic pricing. That's basically pricing things based on supply and demand. For example, this past weekend, I got $1,000 a night for a booking. You might ask why, because there was a football game going on in the city, so it was very, very high demand, so people would pay a premium for it. So these dynamic pricing that I have set up in my listings bring me the most amount of money possible. So I make sure I'm making as much money as I can through the actual Airbnb itself after it's set up and on the market. And then the very, very last step is literally just going to be automating it, right? Hiring people to do certain things for you. For example, hiring a virtual assistant to take care of all guest messages if you really need to, hiring a cleaner to take care of all cleaning, hire a handyman to take care of all random shit that goes wrong so you don't actually have to physically be there or actually have to pay attention to the business because you have all the virtual assistants and managers doing everything for you. And that's the point that I'm at right now. But when I first started, I had 1 or 2 or 3 listings. I was doing everything myself because I was kind of being a cheap ass and I wanted to kind of save my money. But when I look back and I think about it, I probably much rather would have automated things sooner, because when I automate things sooner, it saves me more time on my end. On a normal work week, when everything's going right, I probably work 2 to 3 hours a week. And that's the beautiful part about this business, because once you start and you get everything automated, you really will have time freedom and location freedom. Because if you have everything on ground taken care of by employees, you have all the guest communication, everything online taken care of with virtual assistants, which you can pay a low wage because you can hire people overseas to take care of work, double the hours for a fraction of the price. And you may be thinking like, bro, John, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, man. Well, look, listen. I'm going to help you understand this. In America, the minimum wage is $15 an hour. Maybe it's even lower, but everything is a bit more expensive. When you think about somewhere like Thailand, right? You hire someone from Thailand and you pay them $3 or $4 an hour. That's a lot of money for them. That's a lot of money when the USD transfers to their currency, right? So they actually are making a very good wage for where they live. So it actually ends up making sense, and it's cheaper labor, and the people want to work harder. Because I feel like, honestly, this is kind of off topic, but I feel like in my city, like, not even in my city, like in this country right now, people don't even want to work. Like, people would just want to do the bare minimum. I mean, that's why when you think about the 99%, you think about the 1% of people, right? The 1%, when people say millionaires are the 1%, right? When you're part of the 1%, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever that may be to you, those people, the only difference between me and a random person is I try and they don't. If I'm part of that 1%, they're part of the 99%. Simply, I try, they don't. It's so easy to surpass people because everyone, not everyone, but most people nowadays in this generation, the past generation, or just 2024, 2025, this century in general, don't even try. They don't care to try. They do the bare minimum. That's why it's so much easier to surpass people. But if you really look into it, you're like, well, success isn't easy. Yes, success isn't easy, but life has never been this easy for people like us nowadays. We have our phone, we have our Wi-Fi, we have food at the grocery store. We can order fucking food straight to our door, groceries, whatever it is. We have AI. We have all this shit. Everything, every single resource. But we still happen to make excuses for why we don't want to work hard, why we don't want to start that business. It's too hard. I don't want to learn about this. You're being a lazy fuck. That's it. I'm sorry, but you're being a lazy piece of shit. Sometimes you need to get your bitch ass up and pick yourself up and tell yourself that you need to start working to work to that you need to start working to work towards those goals that you've been wanting to achieve for years, and you keep procrastinating and pushing that thing that you need to do to the next day, to the next week, to the next month. Until when does that stop? Does that ever stop, or are you going to keep doing that? Or are you going to hop on your fucking horse, saddle up, and tell yourself, this is my fucking grind phase. I'm going to grind. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be some rainy, cold, depressed, lonely fucking days. But I see light at the end of the tunnel. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a sub, keep up with me on this journey. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, John Aziz, and also have a fantastic fucking day. Pray to God, and let's go.